what's up? This is Jordan Wagner with PremierGuitar.com, and I'm here today with the new TightMetal from Amptweaker Effects. So the TightMetal is Amptweaker's just straight balls-to-the-wall metal pedal. It was designed, or actually all the pedals in the company are designed by James Brown, who made his name designing products for Peavey, and he was the mastermind behind the 5150 and the Classic series and the JSX and several other models that they made. So he's well known for designing pretty great sounding amplifiers. The TightMetal is kind of a hopped up version of his pretty popular Tight Drive, and basically it's just it's a straight up rip your face off pedal. So we have controls for volume, tone, gain, and tight, which adjusts the amount of tightness in the lows, also kind of altering the tonal spectrum a little bit more. At least when I was playing it, the mids would get more scooped the farther to the right that I went, and the farther left they'd get more pronounced and a little bit spongier feeling. There's also a switch right here for the mid-range itself, which if you have it flipped over to the right, cuts the mids out pretty drastically, and you get a very, very, very like old school, like Bay Area thrash metal tone. And then there's a gate, which is one of the best gates I've ever come across in a pedal with this much gain on it. It clamps at just the right time. It feels super natural when you're playing leads or riffs with it, and it's just all around a really, really great noise gate. It also has a built-in effects loop, so you can have effects such as, like, if you only want delay on your lead tone and you're only using this pedal for leads, you flick on this pedal and it will also kick in the delay or any other effect you have in its effects loop, which is a pretty cool feature. The switch here at the top cuts out the 9-volt battery, so players that don't use power supplies but only use batteries but don't take their pedals off their boards and then unplug everything when they're done playing, all they have to do is just flick that switch, cuts the 9-volt right out of the circuit. Speaking of 9 volts, it has this really great magnetic battery drawer, and this is still one of the coolest, simplest, why didn't I think of this idea, is that I wish more pedal manufacturers would do. I mean, get to the battery, super easy, no muss, no fuss, just great design. So I'm going to demonstrate some tones with the TightMetal right now. I'm using a 1978 Gibson Les Paul Custom with Tom Anderson pickups and doing 81 vertical input 50-watt JCM 800 head and a Bogner 20th anniversary 2x12 cabinet. So this is what the amp right now sounds like dry. And I'm running into the low input of the head. And this is what the pedal sounds like with it on into that. And with the mid switch off. Okay, so I got the tight knob right now set all the way counterclockwise. And this is kind of what it sounds like with it all the way off. I'm going to play these basic drop D chords, and you can kind of hear that sponginess in the mid-range and the low end. It still stays tight, but it's very, very, very loose in terms of what the rest of this pedal has to offer. And then when I turn it all the way up, you can hear the most, or the maximum amount that it will perform on the tone. And you can kind of hear the background noise level drop a bit too. And the tone gets a little bit drier, and it sounds like each note has its own clamp on it. It's a really, really cool tone if you really want that super tight, like the tightest metal distortion you can find. So pretty much the whole time I've been playing this pedal, I've had the gain really only at about 12:30 or 1 o'clock. There's an obscene amount of distortion on this pedal, which is really, really great for tailoring it towards the particular combination of amp and guitar that you have. For example, the more gain you pile on, the softer the sound's going to get. It's going to get more intense, but you'll lose some of the tightness. And also dropping it has the exact opposite effect. You're going to lose gain and you're going to lose that punch, but the sound's going to get tighter and more defined. So you can find that sweet spot. And the tone knob works pretty much the same way. I've noticed that the pedal has quite a bit of low-end response. Right now I'm running this 81 JCM 800 head with the bass control almost all the way off, which was almost pretty different from the 76 Marshall Super Bass that I was running it through when I wrote the review, which has a much more even frequency response. So yeah, there's a lot of room for you to tailor it towards your particular guitar or amp that you have. If you have an amp with more high end, with like a brighter sound, it definitely works for that. You can kind of darken it up a little bit. If you're running using a guitar that has really, really hot pickups, such as these Andersons in here, dropping the gain and the volume on the pedal definitely helps keep the solidarity of the tone. So there you have it. That is Amptweaker's new TightMetal distortion pedal. You can read my full review in much greater detail in the October issue of Premier Guitar and also online at premierguitar.com. So again, this is Jordan Wagner, and thanks for watching.